Hello everybody and welcome back to the channel, and today we are going to predict what we could possibly see on the Nintendo Direct happening on September 12th this Friday. Hey, there's some things that we could get, not gonna lie. This is gonna be 60 minutes. They confirmed it. It's gonna be an hour-long Direct. This is gonna be insane. I will have my reaction posted up to the channel. I'm not gonna live react to it because, well, if you guys see my other reactions, you guys know, like, until I get an actual webcam that works, I'm gonna be doing these upload ones and not a live reaction. I don't want to do a live reaction unless you guys can actually see my face. I feel like that's gonna be the best thing for those reaction videos. But for right now, we're just doing it this way. There's some few games that we can talk about. There's obviously some big names. There's obviously some that haven't been really confirmed yet, and then also there's been leaks. We'll get into that later on though. Real quick thing though, as you guys can see, I have a new little loadout going on for these discussion videos and reaction videos. I'm gonna do it this way because, well, I don't want to always have like Monster in the Wilds gameplay or any other gameplay going on in the background. I want to have people focus on this. So we'll do it this way until I actually get the webcam, and we'll see how it is. So let me guys know, do you like this or do you want to see like actual gameplay going on in the background? I don't entirely know. I think this is like a good thing for right now. Let me know in the comments. But as of what we know right now, let's dive into the predictions. So the way we're going to handle this prediction is that we're going to basically go from the press site, all the games that are on there, at least on the list, and then I'm going to talk about the games that are not on the list that we know that are going to be on the Switch and Switch 2, and then we'll get into the leaks that people have been spreading around, well, rumors, leaks, whatever you want to call it, if you don't want to call it leaks. I'll leave a little thing in case you guys don't want to hear that, and then at the end of the video, I'll talk about games that I would like to see, like what are my big guesses that I would say, and my wants for this Direct. And that's how we'll handle the entire video. The first game that I think we should start off with is a very easy one, being Legend CA. So literally, this got announced when the Mega Malamar got announced. Great Mega, by the way. I love that Mega. It's really, really cool. I had no idea that it looked like an M. I did not make that click. It looked like a cursive M. There's been some talks that we might see this something in a Direct for a while now. The only thing that I can see happening is like 3 different options though. We can either get a small little scissor reel where it shows up at the end just before the one last thing, which, you know, isn't entirely out of the question of something that could happen. But we also have maybe showing another new Mega. They've been doing one at a time, so I wouldn't be surprised if it's just one new Mega. And if anything, if we're picking one, we'll probably get Chandelure. I guess, yeah, that's part of the leaks, but still. If anything, we'll get the Chandelure Mega, because that's a very popular Pokemon. If I had to guess, though, if they were going to do something for this Nintendo Direct that would make perfect sense to me, I think they would announce the Kala Starter Megas. Not Tepig, Chikorita, and Totodile, no. I'm talking about Froakie, Fennekin, and Chespin. I think those are the Megas that we're going to get. It's going to be for their final evolutions. I think it's Chestnut, Greninja, and Delphox, if I got all those right. I think we're going to get those Megas, and that's going to be like the big Pokemon Legends ZA announcement during this Direct. But also, I wouldn't be surprised if it's just like one thing, and I wouldn't be surprised if it's just like a small little scissor. I'm not surprised. Considering that we got Pokemon news earlier in this week, I wouldn't be surprised if we could get barely anything or anything at all. Kirby Air Riders. We got a Direct a while ago for that game. They showed off a lot of the gameplay and stuff. It looks really fun. Personally, to me, I think it looks a lot more fun than the Sonic Crossroads and Mario Kart, so I might just play it. But from what we know, at the end of that Direct, they did tease a character. I'm not entirely affiliated with all the Kirby characters, but apparently a lot of people say it's a character called Nightmare. Some people are saying it's like an evil version of King Dedede. I think if we are getting anything, I think it's very valid from a lot of people are saying, and also from what we know from the Direct, some hints at it, is that we'll most likely get story mode. I feel like that's the only thing I can see if we do get Kirby Air Rated news during this Direct, is just we get a story mode announcement. I would not put it out of the question that we get a story mode within the game. I'd actually really see how they would handle that, to be completely honest. Story modes in these type of games don't really work, and when I'm talking about these type of games, I'm talk about like sports games. Mario Tennis didn't really have the best thing. That's like the first thing that comes to my mind. Super Smash Bros. Had a really cool one, and these are basically the same people who are doing Super Smash Bros. Doing Kirby Air Riders, so I wouldn't mind something closer to that as well. That would be pretty cool. Metro Prime 4. Okay, so I am going to talk about one little thing about the leaks, but I'm going to say, sort of debunk it. A lot of people were saying we were going to get like 3 different directs this month, and it was going to be this direct on the 12th, which they did get right, but then it was also going to be the Mario direct for the 40th anniversary last week, and I am canonically putting it in my head that that got canceled because Silk Song came out the same day. Like straight up, no one was gonna watch it. I don't care what it is. I'm making that canon in my head. That's the reason why. When it comes to the other one, they were saying a Metro Prime 4 direct. I actually 100% see that being an announcement during this direct. They did it. Well, not they did it. Ghost of Yote happened that in the PlayStation Direct. They just showed like, oh hey, Ghost of Yote is still a thing. We're going to do a direct for it. I wouldn't be surprised if that's what we get in this direct. But if we're not getting a Metro Prime 4 direct, if this leak isn't really real, then I wouldn't be surprised if it's just, oh here's the gameplay, here's some more stuff, here's a look at a boss fight, and oh wow, the release date. I guess I can talk about the release date. I think the game is most likely going to come out in like late November, early December. I think that's what's going to be. When you look at the release dates of the games, Legends EA isn't going to be the holiday release. That's the big thing that we get from this direct. We're going to be getting to know a lot of like holiday releases, what games are going to be coming out around November, December, and even January a little bit. So this is going to be like a big direct for selling the Switch 2, selling the games. It's going to be pretty huge. We do know, once again, Legends EA comes out in October. So that's not entirely in that window. They're pushed out. The only game that we know from there is Kirby Air Riders. That is it. We only know Kirby Air Riders is going in there. So I wouldn't be surprised if Metro Prime 4 is going to be coming out around late November, early December, and that's going to be one of the bigger ones for the Switch 2. I would not be surprised at that. I also wouldn't be surprised we see like a Switch 2 edition of the game. Just straight up. I think that would make a perfect amount of sense for Metro Prime 4. But yeah, if we're getting anything, I think we're either getting like a direct announcement or just straight up the release date of the game. I feel like that's perfectly in the question. One game I do want to talk about is Tamagotchi Life, Living the Dream. Yeah, that was like one of the last things they announced at like a specific Nintendo Switch Direct. The last Nintendo Switch Direct, the last thing that they do, the one more thing, the big announcement, was the Tamagotchi Life. I expect we get some news on that game, 100%. To be completely honest, it just screams spring release of next year. I'm not even gonna lie. I don't think we're gonna get a release date. I just think we're gonna get a bigger look on gameplay. If anything from this game, I would completely expect it to go like, oh hey, take a look at this, and then they spend like 10 minutes maybe talking about it, talking about the gameplay, talking about what you can see. I would completely expect that from this game. This could basically be the last hurrah of the original Switch console. Not saying that we're not going to get other games for it, well most likely were, but to be completely honest, the last big name for the Switch console is probably going to be Tamagotchi Life. I would be very surprised if we get anything else other than like ports and stuff coming over here, though that's just going to be on both systems and just other indie games and stuff like that. I would be very surprised by that. I fully expect that this could be one of the last big names on the Switch as we're transitioning to the Switch 2. Next one is Hyrule Warriors Age of Imprisonment. I'm not gonna lie, I tried Age of Calamity. I did not like it, so I am not entirely excited for this game. We did also just get the news during the partner showcase, which was a big surprise. So I wouldn't be surprised if we don't get anything here. And if we actually do, we're getting a release date because it still says to be announced on here. It doesn't even have a release date yet. So that's pretty crazy. I still think this game isn't even coming out this year. I think it's coming out next year in January. Just straight up. I would be very surprised if it comes out this year. Because you're going to have that fight against, well, for next month, straight up going to be Pokemon Legends EA. Other big games coming out next month, you got Ninja Gaiden 4, Ghost of Yote, you have all those, so it's going to be very hard to release that. Then you have Kirby Air Riders, and I still honestly think, personally, Metro Prime 4 is most likely coming out late November. So you don't want to put that up against 2 other games. And there's other games that are being rumored for this year that I'll talk about in December. So I completely think this is going to be like one of the first games that release next year in January. That's just my personal opinion. But that's really the only thing I can see get announced at Age of Imprisonment. I'm not the biggest fan of this game, but I wouldn't put it past it being here. But honestly, most likely, it ain't happening. We ain't getting any news on it. The last thing on here is Splatoon Raiders. This is something I actually want to take some time talking about, because we don't have Splatoon Raider news in a direct yet. Straight up. And not many people know what this game is. Splatoon Raiders is straight up just like the spin-off title of Splatoon. I don't know how else to say that. It gives me Legend of Zelda vibes because it just looks like one of those open world survival type games. And I'm really hoping it's kind of like that. And that's literally it. We know nothing about this game. It wasn't even in a direct. It was just thrown at us randomly. And we were just like, oh, here, take this. And I'm like, what the hell is going on? So I'm really hoping that we get some big announcement on Splatoon Raiders. I feel like that this is going to be it. If it's just going to be, once again, not in this direct, I'm going to be like, okay, when is this game coming out? I don't think it's coming out this year either. I would be very surprised if it comes out this year. It might be the December release date now that I think about it, considering that it was announced sometime this year in like the summer, just after the direct for the Switch 2. So I wouldn't be surprised by that, but I also wouldn't be surprised about it coming out like early next year. I honestly think that's how it will work. But yeah, Splatoon Raiders, we know nothing about it, but it looks interesting. Like, I honestly want to see more about Splatoon Raiders. I'm hoping that we get some in this direct. Okay, the next thing I want to talk about is basically just the games that are not on the list, because there's like 4 games that are on here that I feel very sure are going to be in this direct, either announced or just already announced and we get trailers for it. The game that I think it will get is like Final Fantasy VII Integrate. I think that was something what was going to announce. It was either Integrate or Remake, I'm not entirely sure. I think we'll definitely see some stuff on that. Even if it's just like the small little gameplay and the release of it, I think we'll get something on that. I feel like that's very certain on that. I feel very confident in that we'll get something on that game. The Duskbloods, maybe. It depends on when it comes out next year. Because if it comes out later next year, I wouldn't be surprised if it's not in the direct. But if it comes out like summer of next year, yeah, kind of, like early summer, yeah, kind of. I can kind of see it getting an announcement in this direct. Either way, I was not the biggest fan of Night Rain. I honestly think Night Rain was a wild disappointment, personally. But that doesn't make me less excited for Duskbloods, because I want these bigger companies to make these big risks with their titles. I'm hoping that Duskbloods lands better than Night Rain. Because honestly, I like the aesthetic way better than Night Rain. The gothic aesthetic, it's so cool. God, I wish I can play Bloodborne right now. Oh, man. But yeah, I'm hoping we get to see some Duskblood news here. That would be pretty cool. Another game that I've been hearing a lot of people say that I really want to pick up as well is LEGO Voyagers. This is like a It Takes Two split fiction type of game. It's like one person plays as red block, the other person plays as blue, tiny little block, and you're basically all just completing puzzles and roaming around in this world. It honestly looks so whimsical and charming. It screams a Nintendo Switch and Switch 2 game, just straight up. I'm sorry. It screams it miles away. If this doesn't release on the Switch or Switch 2, I'd be very surprised. I'm hoping we get to see some more stuff on this, because it looks so charming. And honestly, hot take here of the video, I think this game's gonna blow Split Fiction out of the water. I think it's gonna be like 10 times better. I'm not saying Split Fiction was a bad game. I think Split Fiction was a great game. But I think LEGO Voyagers is just gonna blow it out of the water. I'm really looking forward to this game. This game looks like a lot of fun, and it's gonna be cheering up some date nights for some people. Not me, though. This is where I have to tell you. This is where the leaks are gonna be coming in. Watch yourself. If you don't want to watch the leaks, from what I'm saying, skip this. Go to like my personal thoughts of what I think we could get. I'll try to keep away from the leaks when I'm talking about that. I might bring up like 1 or 2 things, but I'll try to keep myself a stand on that in case you guys don't want to hear anything. But I am gonna dive into the leaks. Okay, you have been warned. We are going in now. There is no going back. There's been a lot of stuff being talked about. New Mario game, new Mario equipment, content, everything like that. It's crazy. there was like a little thing saying there's gonna be like a watch where we get like you can play games on it. I don't know. Yeah, I want to put a past question. They released a fucking clock during the direct as a big announcement. I wouldn't be surprised if there's like a fucking smartwatch. Okay, Mario Wonder. Mario Wonder is apparently going to be getting something. A lot of people have been saying that. If anything, it's going to get a Switch 2 edition, and it's going to be like Kirby Cross Worlds, where it's going to get like a DLC, just in that Switch 2 edition. I would not put it past that. Honestly, I would put money on that. That's probably going to happen. I really like Super Mario Wonder. I really like that game. I'm hoping that it does get some sort of new content, so that would be pretty cool. A lot of people are also saying that there's going to be some Mario Kart World stuff releasing. Okay, cool, I guess. I don't know. I wouldn't put it past them putting up like a new card, new racer or something like that, new track. I don't know. I wouldn't be surprised by that. There are some bigger announcements though, and there's 2 games coming into the direct, going into there, that I wouldn't be surprised is the big announcement. And I think both of these games have a good chance of being released during this thing, and it would actually be pretty amazing. The 2 games that is being basically rumored around about a Mario game is a new Mario sports game is one of them. Baseball. A lot of people are saying that the baseball game is going to be coming back. The main thing like this, I'm pretty sure, is because of the new board game thing that came out that had the new Donkey Kong render in it. I wouldn't be completely surprised by this. Here's the thing you gotta realize with the baseball game. It was the only sports game from Mario that didn't get a new game in the Switch. We got Mario Tennis, we got Mario Soccer. I can't believe I just said soccer. It's something, I don't know that game. Honestly, I remember that game being a flop. I'm not even gonna lie. There was obviously Super Smash Bros. Whatever you say about that, Mario Kart, yeah, sure. Basically every single game, Mario Golf got something, and baseball didn't. So I would be completely expecting that the next Mario sports game should be a baseball game because it didn't get anything. Or we can see a brand new game. I would love to see maybe Mario Basketball, Mario Rugby would be pretty cool, not gonna lie. But if I had to pick my number 1, I would probably say Mario Hockey, mainly just because I think that sounds like a lot of fun. Also, because I would say that this game would most likely be the game coming out this winter. And when I mean this winter, I mean December. I think this game's going to be the December release of this year. It's going to be the big thing releasing during the holidays, during Christmas time and all that. I completely expect that. The other Mario game that a lot of people are saying, which gets me really excited, is a brand new Paper Mario. I've been hearing this a lot for a lot of people. Obviously, there's been the Mario 3D game. I'm not talking about that because I don't think that's going to get announced because we're still relatively in the time of Donkey Kong Bonanza. So I don't think we'll get anything related to 3D Mario until next year. And even if that's the case, it probably won't release until the year after. So I don't think we'll get anything around a 3D Mario game. But Paper Mario, I can definitely see being one of the big releases next year. I don't think it will release this year. I think it will be one of the big ones next year when we get the first full year of the Switch 2 and it's a Switch 2 exclusive. And if this is the case, I would not be surprised that it gets its own like Switch 2 version. Like, not like, oh, here's the game attached to it. No, it has like different design. You have the Paper Mario guys slapped onto the side of the Switch 2 and stuff like that. And you know what I mean? I wouldn't be surprised we see that. Not getting announced today, but I wouldn't be surprised we see that for the game next year. I honestly think if this is going to get a Paper Mario, it's going to be coming at the end of the direct. It's going to be that, here's the last thing, take a look type of idea, right? I honestly think that's how we're going to get Paper Mario. I love the Paper Mario games. They have really been good throughout the time. A lot of people didn't really care for Origami King. I loved it. I'm not even going to lie. I really loved that game. And then obviously 1000 Year Door. Come on, that's an amazing game. Haven't played that game, go ahead and check it out. That's a really good game. So I wouldn't be surprised if we get a new Paper Mario as the big Mario game first for the game for the console. You can say Mario Kart was technically that, but I technically think of that just as like the Mario characters, not really Mario itself. So I would be completely expecting Mario's first game to be like one of these bigger games like Super Mario or Paper Mario. I wouldn't put it past that. It honestly makes the most amount of sense for that to be the big announcement, right? I could definitely see both of these getting announced. Okay, you back? Everybody who skipped the leaks? Okay, so wrap things up, the things that I would want to see. I talked about it a little bit. Mario Hockey. I would love to see Mario Hockey be a thing, be a sports game. That would be awesome. Uh, Other things? Pikmin, maybe? I don't know. I wouldn't be surprised if we get like a Pikmin 4 Switch 2 edition. Not gonna lie. I wouldn't be surprised by that. I really like that game. That's just me speaking there on a second there. 3D Mario, I mean, that would be cool. I don't really see that happening, but I wouldn't mind it. Monster Hunter's Twisted Reflection, I don't think is gonna get an announcement, but I also wouldn't put it past it because we also got an announcement not too long ago about a Capcom showcase happening later this month where they're gonna be talking about the game. So I wouldn't think we're gonna be getting Monster Stories 3 news in this direct, so I'm not gonna put that past it. Even though we got announced at the partner showcase, I don't think it's gonna get announced at this direct. So I don't really think that, but I also wouldn't be surprised if it does. And then at the showcase, they just re-show the same trailer and talk about it. And I wouldn't put it past that. We could maybe see. I don't think Animal Crossing. There's been a lot of talk of people wanting Animal Crossing. I don't think we're gonna get that because we're getting Tamagotchi Life next year. I don't think they're gonna release two similar games next year. If they do that, I'll eat my own boot, okay? I'll say that. I'll eat my own shoe if they announce a new Animal Crossing game at this direct. I do not see that happening. I think Animal Crossing is going to be one of the things that come out like 2027. Like a 3D Mario. I honestly think that's what we're going to be getting. And that would be a pretty good game, not even going to lie. So I'm not going to put Animal Crossing as an idea for this direct at all. I don't think that's going to be anything that releases. I heard a lot of people saying Marvel Rivals for Switch 2 exclusive. I don't know. If PS4 can have it, I wouldn't be surprised if Nintendo Switch 2 can have it. Like, I wouldn't be surprised. It would be funny just to see all the memes of their Switch 2s exploding. So I kind of want to see it either way. GTA 5 has been rolling around here. I don't really see that very much as people wanting that on the game. So, nah, I'm not going to say that around here. And then the final thing that I've heard some people talk about, Peak maybe getting onto the Switch 2. A lot of people have been wanting that to get onto consoles. Wouldn't be surprised by that. I actually would really like to see that. That would be pretty cool. I really like Peak. I really hope it does very well. I think they just announced they're working on a new biome as well, so that's going to be really cool. Would they announce it on this Nintendo Direct? Probably not. No, probably not. They won't be announcing that. It would just be like, oh, here's Peak on the Switch 2, and then that's that, right? And then maybe Soul Calibur DLC. I'm joking. But that's basically it. That's basically all we can expect for this Nintendo Direct. It's going to be great. Like I said, I'm going to be reacting to it, but I'm not going to react to it live. I'll post my reactions. It's going to be an hour long, and I'm a little scared because my hour-long videos don't usually do that very well. Like, I just posted a repo thing, and I'm very concerned that that's not going to do very well, even though that's a really fun video. If you're watching this and you want to go see my repo stuff, please go watch it. I'll put it at the end of the video, because I really liked the video, and that was a lot of fun. Honestly, contemplating whether to put it as a VOD as well, but still. Nintendo Direct Friday. I think we got through a lot of the stuff, a lot of the big names. If there's anything that you guys are hoping to see, put it in the comments down below. I love to hear a lot of the other people's predictions and wants for it. Once again, if anything, top 3 things that we'll most likely see as big announcements. Once again, I'm not diving into leaks, so I won't count those either. I think 100% we'll get Tamagotchi Life, big announcement there. I think that's going to be something. Splatoon Raiders, I'm hoping for we're going to get something big there. And then obviously, the next big Mario game, whatever that's going to be, I think we'll get an announcement at this direct as well. So I wouldn't put it past that as well. Those are basically like the 3 things that I'm really hoping to see. Like, get some stuff for obvious separate reasons. And once again, personally, I think Metroid Prime 4 is most likely just going to get a direct announcement at this direct, or just a release date. So nothing too big from there. But yeah, other than that, thank you guys for coming over to the video. Thank you guys for listening to my predictions. Remember to like and subscribe, and go follow me on twitch.tv/gaming106. And I'll see you guys. Maybe you'll see me reacting to direct. Maybe you'll see that video. Who knows? I'll see you guys later. I hope you guys have a very good day. And goodbye.